Okay, the recording started and we can start our news. Hello everyone, and this is a 22nd episode of Anycom News, and today, as usual, Sergey and I will tell you about the news and the progress on the projects over the past week. And as weekly reminder that the recording will be available in a couple of hours, and after the main part of the news, you can ask your questions, so feel free to raise your hand and we will let you to ask your questions. And let's get started. The first news about DEX and its space, and we're working on statistic aggregation, and we're continuing to refine the user interfaces. So Sergey, please, a couple of words about it.
Yes, thank you. So we work on so-called info portal like Uniswap Info, a place where you can see some historical data on prices, on value locked, and so on. So why it is important? First of all, it is interesting to see, or maybe first of all because DEX aggregators like CoinGecko demand such info portals to add new DEXs to their sites. So that's why we work on this info, and we took a steady and thoughtful approach to this info by returning to so-called events mechanic in the node. So it is similar to Ethereum events or logs, as it called in as Etherscan transaction status. So this mechanic will help not only for NX improvement, but it allow to gather any intermediate information from smart contracts work, and it will make much easier to gather various historical statistics, not only for NX. And also when we will implement this events mechanic, possibly we will touch some parts of node that will improve its performance and possible TPS. So that is about statistics, and on the other hand, we work on NX and NX related interfaces. So this week we made several updates for Blockchain Explorer, pulse.anycom.com, and some for web wallet. What we've done, so we added new transaction or new contract types for transaction history in Explorer. Transactions and rewards tabs fix some bugs there, like links leading to correct transactions. But most interesting, maybe we added liquidity in USD for NX pools, and we added market caps for tokens based on prices in NX. Also, we added calculation of account funds based on token prices. This is also done in web wallet, but transaction history is not updated for web wallet. So for the next week, we aim to make this improved transaction history and some additions to drop farms control from web wallet. Yes, drop farms control. So also we work on some governance. We're preparing voting about reducing mining slot price, and it is for DEX, because we aim to add interface for voting into the DEX user interface. I think that's all about Annex. Arman.
Yeah, thank you, Sergey. And the next news connected with Annex, and this news about token approval in whitelists and adding farms and drops in DEX UI. So soon we'll change the flow a little bit, and we'll describe all the process in our guides. It will be more detailed, and at the same time we will add some requirements for example, tokens which will be approved to whitelist. The tokens tokens must have a description and logo, and in this case we will update guides how to add description and logo to your custom token. So that's all, and let's move forward. The next news is about the breach, and we continue testing and debugging the breach. So the release is getting closer and closer. And Sergey, please, a couple words about the current stage of breach tests.
Thank you. So we found some issues and fixed it, and now we assume that we polished the way of transfer from Ethereum origin to Anycom network and backwards. And for the next week, we will debug opposite direction. So tokens with origin in Anycom network moving to Ethereum and backwards. This uses different methods of smart contracts. That's why it's like different things to test. And yes, I hope it will be available for public testing very soon.
Thank you again. Let's move to our mobile development and PWA. We updated PWA for Android. NX Space in depth section now works fine, maybe, yeah, works fine, and we continue to work on other bugs reports and a couple of words here.
Thank you for reports. I think they're coming more quickly when we are fixing bugs, but I hope in some time we will change this behavior and we will be faster than bugs. Special thanks for Jay Taylor. We fixed things you reported just after the NX release. It is work of NX in the dep menu for Android APK PWA version. But there are some new reports that we didn't fixed yet or fully recreated bugs, so we still work on it. Things like working of address input field for dApps, etc. So there are some known reports, known issues that we are fixing. But speaking of what we have already done, we fixed server-side token list import. So now we can add more trusted tokens for into the Annex token list, and these tokens will be showed as trusted in the PWA application. So it will work without PWA updates. Also speaking about POA miners, there are reports about bugs in Masternode application, and we know about it. As we know, it is connected with recent versions of Android, because those versions changed how notification system works. So we made a fix and now are testing it. So maybe we will release this fix in a closed number of testers to test it like closed beta. Also, we are planning to change IP address for mining server, the address that each masternode connects to at the start. So we are testing this also. So maybe fix for newest for recent Android versions will be with the change of this AP endpoint. We will see like what will be ready at what moment. I think that's all for mobile development.
Yeah, thank you, Sergey, and that's all news we have. So if someone have a question, please feel free to raise your hand and we will ask you to ask it.
I want to answer a question that was made in Russian community, but we didn't answer it. So there is a concern about same addresses in main in Pulse network and in the Bit network in test network. So there are people that not sure that this behavior is safe. So there is like two sides of this phenomenon, and on the one hand, it is the way like mathematics work, and nothing can be done. So there are many blockchains that uses the same algorithm for cryptography. It is called ECDSA, where EC stands for elliptic curve, and Bitcoin and many other blockchains like Ethereum or Anycom uses the same elliptic curve. This fact allows to make a single hardware wallet for various blockchains. For example, Ledger hardware wallet, it uses cryptography on the Bitcoin elliptic curve. It is called SEC-P256K1, if I'm not mistaken. So, is it good or is it bad? It can be questionable because any ways to make things easier may affect security as well. So it is convenient. It is convenient to have one hardware wallet for various blockchains like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Anycom. And all these blockchains with the same private key, they will have the same public key. So if you have private public key pair, it works for Anycom, Ethereum, Bitcoin, or many other chains, including test chains or mainnet chains. And this is not a problem by itself. It is how mathematics work. On the other hand, a problem might be with copying of transactions from one chain to another. And this part is important. So that's why Ethereum, for example, has so-called chain ID. It prevents from playing transaction from, for example, Ropsten is obsolete from Goerli test network in the Ethereum main network because they have different chain IDs. For Anycom, we use other approach. We use different native token hash. So all zeros hash is used for main network, and all zeros one is used for bit network. It may be you can think of it like chain ID, like all zeros, or zero is chain ID for Anycom main network, and all zeros one or just one chain ID for Anycom network. So in this way, we have the same security measure, maybe not the same, but similar to Ethereum. So there may be concerns about custom tokens. So currently they are created in completely random matter. And that's why you cannot have same token hashes for bit and pulse to replay transactions on custom tokens from bit into pulse network. But with recent changes of way how tokens work, a new token fees type, ability to create tokens with the same name, I think we will return to these questions or on is it possible to make tokens with the same hash in both networks. I think the answer will be like if you totally control the whole network, all POS, POW and POA, then you might may do it, but I'm not sure. So I don't know if my some insight into cryptography is helpful, but let's see in next week. So please leave questions if you need some additional or maybe it is too much information. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergey. A really interesting speech, and I think we don't have any questions, and guys have the material to think about for the next news. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sergey, for your answers, and thank you, guys. Have a great weekend, and bye-bye.
Goodbye.